I love doing my job. There is no one you've ever met who loves being an actor on a movie set more than me. I love it. I love every second of it. I love driving to work. I love, if it's a film studio, I love driving on the lot. I love the collaborative art form that is the movies. I love the community of it. I love being on a set. I love never leaving the set. I love watching everybody do their work. And then once the work gets completed, I love championing the work. I am a head cheerleader. I was a head cheerleader in high school. I am a head cheerleader in show-off business. And so for me, that's the great gift, is getting to do this job. And by the way, I had the same feeling when I would go to an Activia yogurt commercial. I still love the community of the people, the collaborators with the cameras, the sound, whatever. It didn't matter what the content was.
Just like that atmosphere.
I love that we're doing this job together.
Now, you may only see a pile of receipts, but I see a story. I can see where this story is going. It does not look good.
All of this beautiful highlighting of it, which I understand is partially because I'm old, and because I've now had these kind of wonderful opportunities, and in this case, with Everything Everywhere All at Once, a movie that had such humble beginnings, had such beautiful intentions that then were met and grew. And watching this little movie made in 38 days in Simi Valley, California in January of 2020, to see that movie released last April grow and grow and grow and have people all over the world start embracing it, having entire families reunified by it, having an entire culture feel seen and presented in a way that they hadn't been, has just been this beautiful experience. I love all of it. And I love the promotion of it. I understand it's a business. You can't do the job we do without you, the listener or the watcher or the buyer of the content, the partnership between media and art. It is a partnership. And by the way, I love when I read that an actor or a director says they don't do press. Bullshit. Because I promise you, they do. When the project that they really want to get out to the world requires them doing the New York Times, whatever it is, it's a posturing of some sort of separation of church and state, that one is art and one is commerce and advertising. And the bullshit of it is that we are all in this together. We cannot exist without you. You cannot exist without us. That makes us partners. And that's where the show and the business come together, which is why I like to call it show off business. But it is, I am raised by that ethic. My mother, who came from nothing and was the luckiest girl in the world, who wrote a book called There Really Was a Hollywood, because that was her life story. They were not given the option of participating in the press release. They used to go on trains across the country and do whistle stops to promote their films. So I was raised with that ethic, and it has continued for me in whatever it is I do. And I only now rule social media because it's a promotional tool. Yeah. I don't share my deep interpersonal thoughts with the world. I know how to use the tool to promote things I care about.
You adapt it to the times, and a lot of people seem that they're above it. And you just did quite a mic drop. I think we're done now because like that needs to get out there. Like we are partners in this. You know, it's okay to love movies as we do, and it's okay for you to want people to go see your movies.
By the way, you're probably a bigger cinephile than I am. I love movies.
Yeah.
I'm lucky I'm married to Christopher Guest, who has a deep love of movies and a deep history of movies and is a particularly intellectual man who provides me, have you seen this? No. Oh, you need to see this. I didn't go to film school. I barely got out of high school, let alone a film school. And I'm a movie fan, but I'm not a movie historian. I am not deeply rooted in the history of cinema. I'm a movie appreciator. The Godfather is the greatest movie ever made. Done. I can go home now.
Yeah.
Godfather 1 and 2. Should we say anything more? Why do I need to know anything? I've seen The French Wave, and it sort of confounds me. It doesn't, in my world, I appreciate it. I appreciate many aspects of it, but it doesn't rock my world.
And it's not a requirement for you to work in this business.
There is no requirement.
Yeah.
The beauty is there's no requirement. There is no prerequisite to be in this business. Hustle, talent, timing, hard work. Boom. And if you have the acumen of a film degree and a history of film, does that help you? Of course. But it's not the requirement. It's about something coming alive on the screen. And I don't think you can teach that.
And speaking with some of your castmates over the last few months, looking through social media, I am looking to...
Careful with social media.
I know, it's not a good place to have a conversation, but I'm looking to devise a plan, and I would love to know if you would jump on this with me, to politely ask the Daniels if they would be willing to create we'll call a spin-off, Everything Everywhere series of the Hot Dog Fingers universe that has you and Michelle Yeoh
No,
exploring that.
There will be no.
You wouldn't.
You know what? We already explored it. I know, but we did it all.
We did it? Okay.
We did it all wordlessly in about a 45-second montage. You saw it all. You saw the love. You saw the connection. You saw the fracture. You saw the pain of the breakup. You saw the rage. The entire relationship is perfectly intact in a wordless, improvised montage.
Jamie Lee Curtis tells you no, you have to accept it. I accept it. Even though Stephanie Hsu did say that the Rock universe, she would totally watch an entire silent film of two rocks just having a conversation.
But we would never need to.
But we wouldn't need to.
You know why? Because that sequence is perfect. Because
is.
where it comes in the movie is a moment of such pain and shock. And then it's that
The scene that makes you cry. Yep.
stillness. And at first there's no sound. It's so genius. And that there aren't voices. And that it's, in fact, I believe when you speak to Michelle Yeoh, you probably already have.
Not yet. Soon.
Soon. Okay. I'm just going to let you know. Michelle Yeoh is the reason that I am sitting at this desk. Michelle Yeoh is the reason that for the rest of my life, you will say, Oscar-nominated actress Jamie Lee Curtis. Michelle Yeoh is the reason that is happening. Because when my agent called me and said, Jam, there's this movie, the Daniels, I knew the Daniels, and he said it stars Michelle Yeoh and you would play her nemesis. And I said, I'll do it. He said, well, no, Jamie, you need to read this. It's out there a little. I said, I'll do it. Michelle Yeoh, but the reason I brought Michelle Yeoh up, I believe originally it was going to be voiceover, the rock universe. And I think Michelle Yeoh was the one who said, no, it should be subtitled. It should be silent. You shouldn't hear their voices. Fuck. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. So
Yeah.
Michelle Yeoh.
The Church of Michelle Yeoh is
The
a good. It's a good church.
Of Michelle Yeoh is a beautiful.
Praise and worship.
And by the
location.
way, no one is having a better time than Michelle Yeoh.
Mrs. Wang. Mrs. Wang.
Mrs. Wang, are you with us?
I am paying attention.
My final question for you, and this wasn't nepotism, just having a variety magazine here sitting in front of us today, because I wanted to ask you, because I know you spoke about it on social media, but we did our 100 Greatest Movies issue, and on the cover of that issue
I know.
was your mother. Psycho was named the greatest film ever made by Variety. You've been speaking about it today. Everything predating even you, starting inside of that woman, is why you're sitting here today. And I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about the legacy of her to you now.
She loved her life. She loved it. She loved being Janet Leigh. Tony Curtis loved being Tony Curtis. They both came from such hard beginnings, tragic, impoverished beginnings, to both reach the heights that they did in their careers. And they were the first people I thought of. The second my name was called, they popped into my head. Both of them were nominated for Oscars, and I was aware of that. I have looked at their careers as these incredible things. I'm chop wood, carry water girl. I'm a get your hands and feet dirty kind of girl. I am in the grit of my life. I don't look at the season of shiny things and there are some beautiful pictures taken of me by fantastic photographers and great makeup artists and stylists. And do you know what I mean? And yes, there's some beautiful imagery of me. I don't feel that way. I am a realist. I'm a realist in every way. I look in the mirror, I see what I look like, and I look like me. They both had they both had that golden age of Hollywood. And therefore, I always felt that their careers were impossible to even come near. And when they called my name that day, all of a sudden, my parents became my colleagues. And it evened it all out a little. And it made me realize that I bought the same bullshit of the golden age, because it wasn't a golden age. It was just hard work, hustle, heartbreak, alcoholism, drug addiction, betrayal, infidelity, violence, great fortune, miracle moments, and that my mother ended up in a movie that became the #1 movie on your Variety list, and her image on the cover of the magazine. That little movie that they made with Alfred Hitchcock, I don't think anybody making that movie was going to go, I bet you in 2023 they're going to say it was the greatest movie ever made. They were hustling. It was hard to make. And in the same way that Everything Everywhere All at Once is this not only creative experience, not only this critical experience, but the universe of people have gone over and over and over to see it in theaters. And that I now get to go to the big party and be among, I've been on these panels with the other nominees, and I've gotten to know them all. Like I met Hong Chow the other day on a Zoom, and she had a young baby right before she made The Whale. And we talked about, I made a Fish Called Wanda when my daughter was 6 months old, and all I did was cry all day because I felt guilty because I had this beautiful baby, and yet I was having this incredible creative experience. And how do you do it? And so it's a beautiful continuum of creativity, hustle, luck, and that completely undefinable part of it. That special magic sauce. I don't know what it is. I'll never know what it is. I'll never understand why I'm sitting here with you. I could never quantify it and kind of find the beginning of that thread. All I know is that I am wide open for it, and I'm just so happy. I'm having a wonderful, wonderful time.